great-great-granddad, G.W. Mabrey, was one of the founders of the bank in 1906, roughly, although the bank wasn't chartered until 1933, but actually was formed before statehood. And then our great-granddad ultimately became a teller and assistant cashier and then was on the board, and that was Carlisle Mabrey Sr. And then he owned 10% of it, and then his death, our granddad, Carlisle Mabrey Jr., inherited that 10% and ultimately got a loan to buy out a lot of the partners in the bank in the late 60s. And so he had a controlling interest from the late 60s. I think he owned 70% of it at that point in time. And the story my dad tells is my dad's the oldest of four. He's Carlisle the third. Is that his dad called my dad and my dad's next brother Bruce and basically said, hey, this bank's kind of stressing me out. And my granddad didn't do well with stress. He was a navigator in World War II, B-17 bombers, and didn't deal with people very well and stuff. And so I'm gonna sell the bank. He was barely keeping the interest current on the note. And
Dad used to say that. I mean, he would be difficult to work.
Yeah,
to work for.
Yeah,
hard for him to keep some good people to help him.
Yeah, kind of a taskmaster, and and demanded a lot, as you might expect. A military guy would. And so my dad and Bruce said, hey, to their dad, don't sell the bank, and we'll come back and help you run it. Mm-hmm. And so they both came back about 6 months apart in 1972, and have been there ever since.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My dad was a JAG officer at the time in the Air Force and stationed at Edwards Air Force Base.
Okay.
Did some research and was able to there was a hardship to save the family
That's right.
business, and so he had that opportunity to use that and was out of the Air Force and then went back to help run the bank.
That's really cool. And I mean, we were chatting before you guys showed up, like family business can be really great, but it also can be a major pain in the ass at times, right? Because you guys got to go to Thanksgiving or you've got to go to family birthdays, but you also see each other at work, and it's like, I'm sure there's been some times where you're just like, I know it's your kid's birthday, but I need space.
Yeah. We do a good job of being able to, get along and leave work on the side, but certainly have our moments for sure, and frustrations, and Carlisle's a little bit more of a, hotter temper, and those times can run kind of hard times, and I tend to be a little more controlled in that respect. But it's funny. One funny story on just family business and my dad and my granddad is my dad tells the story that my granddad agreed to pay him, I think it was maybe, $15,000 to come back and work at the bank. And so he gets there on the first day of work, and my granddad calls my dad in the office, and he says, son, I couldn't tell the board I was going to pay you $15,000, so I'm actually going to pay you $13,000. So my dad says, I got a $2,000 pay cut, the first day at work, but you couldn't do that if you weren't a family business. If right. My dad was not my granddad's son, you probably couldn't have taken another team member or employee and told him you're going to pay him less than what you agreed to. So
yeah.